Hi, I'm Bill Newcott. I'm here in Little Rock, Arkansas on the set of God's Not Dead 3. Now, I know faith cinema doesn't get a lot of love from film critics, but consider this. God's Not Dead Part 1 made $62 million at the box office on a $2 million investment. Part 2 made $25 million, and that's pretty good for a sequel. We're going to talk with the filmmakers about it. Later on, I'm going to review 3 films, Novitiate, Killing of a Sacred Deer, and LBJ. All that and more on our podcast, Movies for the Rest of Us.
They're gonna see us from outer space.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about Pod.
It's nothing serious.
No, it is.
Killing of a Sacred Deer is opening this week, and I saw it in Toronto at the Toronto International Film Festival, and as I recall, I had a lot to say about it when it opened. I'm remembering it's like it was yesterday, but a little fuzzy. You know, there's always one movie, at least in Toronto, where you come out of the theater and you say to yourself, was that a good movie? It was well made, and I liked the people who were in it, and the acting was good. But you realize it's just a terrible movie? Well, this happened to me today again. The film is The Killing of the Sacred Deer, and the director is Yorgos Lanthimos, who's the guy who made The Lobster last year. And you probably didn't see The Lobster, most people didn't, but if you did, you will remember that it's the movie about how the government took people who were unmarried and turned them into wild animals like lobsters and dogs. And if you thought maybe that for a second film, Lanthimos might do something a little more upbeat, a little more mainstream, a little more friendly and less dark, you are wrong. The Killing of a Sacred Deer stars Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman as husband and wife. He's a very successful heart surgeon. They have 2 kids. And life was going pretty good until one day a young man enters their life, a fellow whose father died on the operating table while Colin Farrell's character was operating. And one day he just tells Colin Farrell's guy, you're going to have to kill one member of your family. You pick the one you're going to kill, and if you don't do it, I will kill them all. And the way he's going to do it is not really in the most practical way possible. He's going to will them dead. And in the world that has been created for this film, that's entirely possible. The film is, in a way, Sophie's Choice played for laughs, and that's not a good combination. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't like it very much.
So they can put it out.
If you happen to go to Catholic school in the 1960s, you might have an interest in seeing Novitiate. It's a story of a young girl who becomes a novice nun in a very closed-off and very strange convent right at the time of the Vatican Council.
Good afternoon, all of you. Since, unfortunately, God can't be here to run this convent himself, my voice will serve as a stand-in for his.
Margaret Qualley, a young woman, plays the nun, and she's all doe-eyed and innocent, and she learns pretty fast who's pulling the strings at this place. It's a nun, Mother Superior, played by Melissa Leo, who gives a fierce performance, and I think you may see Melissa taking a walk at Oscar time for this one. Okay, here's a little movie quiz. Which of these Oscar-winning films was the highest-grossing independent movie of 2014? The Grand Budapest Hotel, Birdman, or The Theory of Everything? Well, yeah, it's a trick question, because the box office receipts of all those acclaimed films were dwarfed by God's Not Dead, which took in more than $62 million. God's Not Dead and its hit sequel were both calls to arms of sorts, focusing on the kinds of oppression many Christians believe they face in society. Both films drew pretty bold lines between the good guys and the bad guys.
All that I require from each of you is that you fill in the papers I've just given you with 3 little words. God is dead.
We let the ACLU do it.
We're going to prove once and for all that God is dead.
On the order in the matter of Thorley versus Wesley.
The pressure that we're feeling today will mean persecution tomorrow. We're at war.
As filming on Part 3 began in Little Rock recently, though, it became apparent from the cast, including Oscar winner Tatum O'Neal, My Big Fat Greek Wedding co-star John Corbett, and Married with Children co-star Ted McGinley, that this time around the series plans to be a bit more open-hearted towards those who aren't in the fold.
Well, it's such a difficult time now in America with so many people fighting with each other. I just thought, wouldn't it be great to be a part of something that sort of speaks to something about communicating?
For me, obviously, it's all about the money.
Being honest.
No. You know, I've done a bunch with them, and I love these guys. I think the important thing always is that to show the other side as the other side and not necessarily as this boogeyman monster in the corner.
We should explain that Tatum has not whacked you in the mouth there. That is
Not yet.
makeup.
It's still early today. Pastor Dave and I have a little row.
I saw his black eye.
Yeah. I got the better of him. If his brother hadn't been there, I'd have finished him off.
Do you feel like you're making a movie for a niche audience here, or do you feel like you're making a film that can have a broader appeal?
I think you hope for the broader appeal with every movie you do, unless it's X-rated, I guess.
I've always had that problem.
I didn't want to say that, but anyway.
Some of these movies, there's a CGI Jesus in them, and there's the voice of God, similar to James Earl Jones, and this had none of it. And to me, it was just a straight-ahead drama. It was a straight-ahead drama, and I closed it and called Brian and said, "Yeah, tell him I'm in."
The question, of course, is whether or not audiences who stood up and cheered when Christians bested their oppressors in the first two films will be willing to accept a more tempered attitude toward outsiders. We'll find out when God's Not Dead 3 opens in March.
Sorry about this, Pastor.
It's okay.
If I'm gonna make a run in 68, I'm gonna need people to like me. Shut the door.
How could anybody not like him?
Little Rock is, of course, home to the Bill Clinton Presidential Library. And as controversial as Clinton was, compared to Lyndon Baines Johnson, he was small potatoes. Woody Harrelson plays LBJ in the new film by the same name, directed by Rob Reiner, and surprisingly, he gets it just about right. Woody Harrelson is among the most versatile actors in film. Now, as Lyndon Johnson, he plays the President of the United States in the crucial days surrounding the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Harrelson doesn't do an LBJ impersonation per se, and he lacks Johnson's physically imposing nature. But he captures the essence of a proud, often vain man who, after a lifetime of catering to the political whims of a racist South, summons up his better angels to force a civil rights bill through Congress through sheer will.
You can deliver.
There will be no compromise. This is about making President Kennedy's vision a reality.
Well, that's our video blog for today. For more on the movies, go to SaturdayEveningPost.com/movies or come to my website, moviesfortherestofus.com. I'm Bill Newcott.